Unity. Hello everyone. I hope everyone's well this weekend. And are we on comments? Yes. So if you're in, please say hello. Hiya, Irene. I hope everything's well. Irene, all the way from Japan. Also a member of Para Unity group as well, which is excellent. Hello everybody else what's watching. I hope everyone's good and they're having a good weekend. I don't know about where yourself is. It's dark, raining and cold, but we're still happy. It's all good. And yes, so we've been away for a week and we spent week in close to Skegness. Myself, Phil, which is here. You'll see an hand in a minute. There we go. And a friend of ours, what makes Red Rejects, and well, in UK, we went to the coast and we did quite a bit of exploration, which were good. So we're back and we're going to do some. We're going to play some videos. If you're watching, please like and follow us page. Just because it'd be great to get over 1,000. I see it at 980 something. So all those efforts, excellent. Yeah, so that's the one. Irene, I'm actually searching without anyone trying to know. It's the World of Ghosts group. So Irene Takura, she's excellent in the paranormal field. Great support, great talking to you, Irene. And she's got her own group, World of Ghosts. Please go along, follow it. She's a really nice, polite lady. So yeah, good group. And yeah, so yeah, we've been to the coast. We're setting up this video that we're going to stream over. If you've got any paranormal any questions? Paranormal, anything like that? Ask away. If we don't know the answer, we'll try and figure it out. And I am just going to look on my phone because these comments don't always tie up to these comments, which I find quite funny. There we go. That's it. I'm up to date. Right, there you go. So guys, we're going to play it next. I'm going to play it next video, which is it's from Ralph Keaton. You might have heard of him. And this one it's the BBC. You know a lot about this actually, don't you? Yeah. The BBC interviewed him.
Yeah, it's about Monster House.
It's about the Monster House, and they interviewed him about this Monster House because occurrences what happened there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and how it evolved into something else altogether.
But a film made from it.
Yeah, a movie were made from this as well, and we'll get more into that. But this is really interesting and definitely worth watching. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it, everyone, and please say I do. If you want to shout out, let us know. If you need to know anything, put it in comments. All good. So yeah, we will play the video.
My name's Ralph Keaton. I am a medium and an exorcist, and I own the Extraordinarium Museum, which which in its own right is a haunted building. It's an 1876 funeral parlor.
While I'm sleeping, and girls with clothes and bloodstained floors at night. While I'm sleeping, I'm about to spend the night in a seriously haunted house. The family who live here are so hacked off with their antisocial ghosts that they've had to call in a medium. What sort of stuff was going on?
Well, after about the first couple of months we moved in, we started hearing things. We used to have a piano, which was at the side of this wall, an old Victorian piano.
Yeah.
And one morning, my wife woke us up and said, "Can you hear this?" And we could hear the piano keys playing.
One of the boys had come down early, so I gets out of bed, went in to see like Neil and Christopher's room, and they're both fast asleep.
I just said, "Oh, it'll be a car just coming
You
on
thought
the
of
corner."
a logical explanation.
Yeah.
Well, was you scared? Was you not scared?
I was terrified. We had ticking. It went on for absolutely months at a time.
What, just like loud ticking?
Loud ticking in our ears all night. In the end, I got to a point where I got out of bed at 3 in the morning and tore the bedroom apart. So I thought
trying
maybe
to find
some an explanation. Ralph said one of the previous owners of the house, he collected clocks. The love of his life was this pretty big grandfather clock, what he loved, and he wants you to appreciate it. Absolutely bizarre. Yeah.
And what else did you feel when you come into this house?
Well, I mean, there's quite a lot of things because I did mention to them as well that I've got a feeling that there's other energies going on. But I talked about this lady. There was a lady.
It was about 9 o'clock one evening, and someone caught the corner of my eye, and as I looked out to the passage, I seen this lady with a pink dress on. First thing, you think, wow, there's someone in the house. Because you're looking, what's she doing here?
Yeah.
Where's she come from? And I, ran out the back into the passage, and she disappears into the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, she was
Nothing
gone.
there. The most haunted room in the house is 17-year-old Karen's bedroom. So guess where I'm sleeping tonight?
The energies. We've one outside the door already. I'm just going to ask you to make a noise, be it a small noise or just a noise within the room. Just let us know you're in here.
Can you move?
You're going to click it?
I can hear someone's at the door there. Can you like someone was actually standing there and
They're just going up there.
yeah, we're just there.
This is their patrol area. This is where they'll be. Okay. It's friendly.
Do you know who they are? Can you
Yeah,
see?
I know exactly who stood out there.
Which one was that?
It's a male that stood outside there.
Oh.
Every time you're talking, he's connecting to you. He's here because of your curiosity. It's somebody that you've brought. He's going to flash the lights. In here, and the lights will dip and come on very quick.
On my own.
You heard him knocking. So that's the kind of thing you're going to get.
Okay.
Little noises.
Well, I look forward to it.
Right, yeah. So that's a slight an introduction to some of the that we'll be playing.
Master and Smith.
More in the background. There you go. Setting up next video. It got a bit loud. So yeah, that was Ralph Keaton, and they were just taking a look at an house where a case occurred. And it led to a movie being made, Monster House. Phil, who directed that?
Stephen King film.
A Stephen King film. So it were a big thing. So I'm gonna have to watch that as well. Can't believe it's one I haven't watched. So yes, it's some really good stuff going off there in the Extraordinarium Museum. and we'll be looking at that closely in future. What's there? So, guys, what's your thoughts on those kind of activities, like pianists playing by themselves, things like that? Especially when they're playing there by themselves, and you're not seeing anyone there doing it. So, what could possibly be happening if that's really happening? Even for those who are skeptical and don't believe that happens, let's just, for instance, say it does, and things are moving around. Pianos are playing by themselves. What's your thoughts on how that works? Who's doing it? What's doing it? It'd be great to see them in comments, and yeah, we'll definitely reply to those. Because one theory I've heard is, other than a spirit doing it, is the memory in time of a piano playing actually lining up with our reality and making it happen. Yeah, put that up. It happens, and you can't explain why. Especially those what they've witnessed it, and they're saying, right, I saw this happening. There was nothing there, but it were happening physically. There was that one theory that I read, and I talked to this person about it, and they were saying about how a past memory or an alternate reality, and that takes another set of beliefs, doesn't it, to figure that one out, lining up to ours and then causing an effect. So I find that interesting, and it'd be great to hear your thoughts on that one. So what have we got next, Phil?
Andy Proctor. Answered all good stories.
He does brilliant videos. Andy Proctor. If you haven't checked him out, check him out. Great videos, and we'll play that next. So thanks, guys.
North of Preston in Lancashire is a village named Goosnar, and in this village lies one of Britain's oldest and most haunted buildings, Chingle Hall. Formerly known as Singleton Hall, this historic building was constructed in 1260 by the knight Adam de Singleton, and was owned by the family until the 16th century. The Farrington family owned the hall from 1764, and during these years the hall was used as a meeting point for religious activity. Great efforts were made to keep the Roman Catholic traditions alive, as hiding holes were dug into the walls, and a number of tunnels were dug which headed towards surrounding buildings in the area as a method of escape. One of the rooms that has previously encountered a number of unusual events is the kitchen. It is often reported by the current residents that pots and pans are moved about, and are constantly witnessing bangs similar to the sounds of cutlery being banged together. One of the most active rooms at the hall is Eleanor's room. This room belonged to Eleanor Singleton. It has been reported that Eleanor was held captive in this room for over 12 years, until her death at the age of 20. It has been suggested that Eleanor was murdered in this room. However, no one is certain if this is a fact. An overwhelming sadness has been detected by a number of visitors who visit Eleanor's room, with some people reporting the smell of lavender throughout the hall.
Now, back in 1997, I was lucky enough to visit Chingle Hall, and I had a very unusual experience in Eleanor's room, where as the guide was talking to us all, I felt as if I was rocking like side to side.
A number of months later, I returned to Chingle Hall, and I explained my experience in Eleanor's room to the owner. To my amazement, I discovered that only 2 weeks previous, one of the guests suddenly broke down in tears in Eleanor's room and had to leave the building, later explaining that he felt as if he was on a boat, comparing his feelings to seasickness. Once inside the hall, you will notice the wooden beams on the ceiling, which have a number of unusual symbols on them. Nobody knew what these symbols meant until a group of scientists took samples of the wood and found that the wood was many years older than the hole. This wood seemed to show large traces of salt, and it was discovered that the wooden beams were at one time belonging to a Viking longboat. It has been documented that in the 1950s, the beams suddenly caught fire for no reason, and the fire disappeared as quickly as it started. It is reported that the smell of burning wood still lingers in many of the rooms at Chingle Hall, ever since this bizarre occurrence. One of the most famous ghost sightings at Chingle Hall is that of a 17th century gentleman named John Wall, who in the 1600s went over to France to become a priest. John returned to England to visit a friend, but was soon arrested and then convicted of being a Catholic priest. A century later, his severed head was brought back to Chingle Hall by a group of nuns, who buried John's head somewhere within the grounds of Chingle Hall. But where exactly, nobody knows. Ever since then, the spirit of the priest has been spotted roaming the grounds surrounding Chingle Hall, and it is believed that until his head is found, the spirit of John will never be at rest.
Now also, Chingle Hall has its own chapel, where the sighting of a hooded monk has been spotted, and he was on his knees as if he was in prayer.
The figure of a hooded monk was a regular soul reported to have been seen crossing through the hall and towards the doorway to the stairs. The sounds of the main doorway opening and closing on its own, along with lights flickering on and off for no apparent reason. Chingle Hall now serves as a private residence, no longer open to the public. But phenomena recorded throughout the years makes Chingle Hall one of the most haunted buildings in Britain. Built by Robert Tatton during the 16th century, Wythenshawe Hall has witnessed a fascinating history. The hall was seized by Oliver Cromwell's forces during the 1640s, but the building was eventually handed back to Robert Tatton, and for 400 years, Wythenshawe Hall remained in the Tatton family. During Cromwell's invasion of the hall, servant Mary Webb, along with her fiancé, both died in the struggle to save Wythenshawe Hall. Ever since Mary's death, the sounds of sobbing is heard throughout the building, along with the regular sightings of Mary's spirit wandering through the dark corridors within Wythenshawe Hall. A mother and daughter were once visiting the hall when they both noticed a lady walking down the corridors, weeping. Concerned for the weeping lady, both mother and daughter followed her, as the lady turned and entered one of the bedrooms. Upon entering the bedroom, the mother and her daughter were shocked and confused to see that the weeping lady was nowhere to be seen. Visitors to Wythenshawe Hall often report the sounds of heavy footsteps within the empty rooms, along with being touched, pinched, and even pushed by unseen hands. Many people believe that this is the work of one of Cromwell's men, intent on continuing causing problems here, just as they did in life some 400 years earlier. Dating back to the 16th century, Wycliffe Hall was built by Piers Hartley. This hall was built to replace his original house, which stood on this site many years earlier. Following Piers Hartley's death, the estate was passed down to the Cunliffe family, and then in the 1720s was again handed over to Henry Owen. But there was one condition. Henry had to take the name Cunliffe. Now known as Henry Owen Cunliffe, he became the new squire, embarking on a huge project which would see Wycliffe Hall redesigned and modernised, making it a place more suitable for his position, and at the same time was hoping that this newly designed hall would attract him a new wife. Taking over a year to complete, Henry's new home stood proudly overlooking nearby cottages and farmland. And as Henry had intended, his grand new home helped him achieve one of his goals, which was to marry Both Henry and his wife soon moved into the hall and enjoyed a happy and luxurious lifestyle together. Being the keen sportsman and gambler, it wouldn't be long until Henry was running up huge debts and putting the future of his family, along with his beloved home, in jeopardy. Henry died in 1818, and the property, along with Henry's debts, were all handed over to his nephew, Charles Cunliffe Owen. Charles couldn't pay off his uncle's debts, and Wycoller Hall was eventually lost. And as the years became decades, large parts of the whole stonework were sold off to build a new cotton mill. Now left abandoned and unoccupied for several years, Wycoller Hall began to crumble, and more of its stonework was being taken away and used for new building projects within the local area. What we see here today are all that remains of this hall. But if you pass through here on a dark, stormy night, don't be too surprised at what hidden secrets you might come across within the eerie abandoned remains of Wycoller Hall. One of the many squires of Wycoller Hall was Simon Cunliffe, and one day Simon and his huntsmen were pursuing a fox in the local fox hunt. The fox ran towards the hall and through the door and up the stairs, making its way to the lady's chamber, followed shortly by the bloodthirsty hounds charging into the hall intent on catching and destroying the fox. Right behind them, Simon Cunliffe on his horse, which rode into the hall and up the stairs. Terrified, Simon's wife was screaming with fear. But unhappy with his wife's uncontrollable outbursts, Simon raised his hunting crop to strike her into silence. But moments later, his wife was dead. During the stormy seasons, it is said that Simon's spirit is seen late at night outside the hall. The haunting sounds of his horse's hooves are heard clattering across the bridge and towards the hall's main door. And the sounds continue as if they are running up the stairs, and followed by the terrified woman's screams. Turning back around, the phantom horseman makes his way back through the dark and winding paths, and then mysteriously vanishes within the surrounding woodland, returning once again the following year. Witnessed by two workmen, the spirit of the murdered woman has also been spotted roaming within the grounds of Wycoller Hall. Wearing a black silk dress, the ghostly lady has been seen here on a number of occasions. Another of the Cunliffe men was reported to have moved to India, where he fell in love and later married a West Indian woman. On his return voyage home, he had second thoughts about his marriage and carried out an unforgivable act towards his wife, who was supposed to be returning home with him. Cunliffe grabbed his wife and threw her overboard, drowning her as a result of his unhappiness towards their marriage. Her spirit, locally known as Black Bess, followed him back to Wycoller, and is said to be still wandering through the hall to this day, in search of her murderer. Belonging to the Townsend family for almost 400 years, the grand country estate of Rainham Hall stands proudly in Norfolk. But for the past 2 centuries, Rainham Hall has been a place made famous for its unworldly presence of a terrifying phantom, known to many as the Brown Lady. It was the year 1713, and Viscount Charles Townsend of Rainham Hall married his sweetheart of many years, a Lady Dorothy Walpole. The couple went on to have 7 children, and lived here happily, until Charles discovered that Dorothy had once been the mistress of notorious ladies' man, Lord Wharton. Although the affair was many years before their marriage, Charles Townshend was furious with his wife, and he decided to lock her away within Raynham Hall, forbidding any contact with the outside world or even her own children. A full year had passed by, and within this time, Dorothy remained a prisoner within these walls, until in 1726, when Dorothy supposedly died of a broken heart. But it has been suggested that Dorothy was pushed down the stairs and broke her neck. Over a century later, a descendant of Charles Townshend was holding Christmas celebrations at Raynham Hall, when two guests witnessed a chilling encounter. Both guests were returning to their bedrooms after the Christmas celebrations, but as they made their way up the main staircase, they saw an unfamiliar lady. The pair were just about to greet the lady until they realised that her face seemed to be glowing, and only empty sockets where her eyes should have been. Terrified, both guests soon informed the other remaining guests of their unexplainable encounters on the staircase, and soon learned that many of these people before them had also witnessed the same ghostly lady throughout the years. Rumours of the sightings began to spread, and through time, more and more visitors, including the staff, were witnessing ghostly manifestations of the Brown Lady, resulting in some staff fleeing the hall in absolute terror. Intent on dismissing these ghostly allegations, a Captain Frederick Marriott stayed at Raynham Hall and supplied his own theory surrounding the sightings. Known for his bravery and rational attitude, Frederick suggested that somehow the ghostly lady was staged by smugglers. Captain Marriott vowed to expose the criminals and prove once and for all that Raynham Hall was not haunted. But one evening, while returning to his room, Captain Marriott, along with two other men, were stopped in their tracks. When approaching them was a mysterious lady holding a lamp. Slowly moving towards the three men, the figure of the lady in the brown dress provoked terror as she grinned at them in a diabolical manner. Terrified, Captain Marriott drew out his pistol and fired straight at the apparition, the bullet going straight through her and into the door behind. The ghostly lady just simply disappeared. After this encounter, Captain Marriott was convinced that the Brown Lady was identical to a 100-year-old portrait in his bedroom, this being the portrait of Lady Dorothy Walpole. A century later, and unaware of any hauntings at Raynham Hall, Lady Townshend and her son were one day left frozen with fear when they saw the apparition of the Brown Lady standing on the main staircase, again claiming that the woman that they saw was the same lady in the portrait. It wasn't until 1936, when yet another reappearance of the Brown Lady would maybe prove once and for all of her existence, as her ghostly image was finally made visible for all to see. A photographer and his assistant were sent here in 1936 to take pictures of Raynham Hall for Country Life magazine. Whilst taking photographs of the staircase, the photographer's assistant yelled uncontrollably, claiming to have seen an unexplainable figure manifesting on the stairs. The photographer looked through his viewfinder, but couldn't see anything, but he continued to take more photos. On later inspection of the photo plates, there was indeed a ghostly figure on the stairs. The photograph was later examined by experts, all confirming that the photo was genuine and not faked in any way. Several months later, and 200 years after the very first sighting of the Brown Lady, this photograph was published in Country Life magazine for all to see. The Brown Lady of Rainham Hall has never been seen since, but her appearance seems to be spaced apart by about 100 years. So maybe we haven't got too long to wait before her reappearance terrifies us once more.
I believe in you.
Yeah, hello everyone. I was just watching that. Brilliant documentary and very interesting. I mean, all those different events through time. I mean, you're looking at images there of Vikings and knights and soldiers. It's quite amazing. And some of the locations that we do go to in paranormal are quite amazing with some amazing history. And I'm sure your guys have. I'm sure your guys have experienced these kinds of locations. If any stick out or stand out to you, just let us know in comments. So hello, Irene Takura. You're there in comments. There we go. Nigel Porter, how you doing? And then we've got Darryl Livesey. How you doing? And we also have Wayne Gulwell. We did a chat with Wayne on here from Spirits Within. So I hope you're all doing well. Yeah, it were tragic, Irene. Yes, definitely. Actually, a really remarkable location that I have seen was one of Irene Takura, what she sent to us, an image of an hotel that she worked in. An amazing building. We'll have to get that photo. Nigel's doing well, and I'm glad you're well. I hope all your weekends are doing well. So we're gonna have a look at the next. We're gonna have a look at. I've got a piece of paper. The next video to come up. It's an haunting at the Octagon Mansion, Paranormal Encounters. So yeah, we'll be playing that, and we'll see what we've got here. They're always very interesting documentaries, so can't wait. I ain't seen it myself. Phil, he's had a few sneak peeks. So there you go. All right, guys, enjoy.
Who are you? Can you light that up?
I'm not going back in there until I know nobody's in there.
Was that you? Welcome to Paranormal Encounters. Yeah. I'm Connor Biddle.
And I'm India Hopwood.
Welcome to this episode of Paranormal Encounters.
Today we have traveled to Wytheville, Virginia to investigate a location that has never before been televised.
Welcome to the Octagon Mansion. This 6,000 square foot mansion was built by H.Q.A. Boyer in 1870, who later sold the home unfinished to Reverend D.A. Snow, who finished construction in 1886. The building was referred to as the Roundhouse for its rare design. During the 1950s, a polio epidemic broke out in Woodville that tragically took the lives of 17 of its residents and affected many more. It became so bad the town council erected billboards at all 5 entrances to the county, warning potential tourists of the outbreak and urging them to return the following year.
Throughout the years, this building has been many things: a bakery, restaurants, a real estate office, and a private residence for many families. However, for the last decade, it has sat empty and undisturbed. It wasn't until recently, in the last year, when the new owners started allowing people to come in here to hold events. That is when strange things began to happen.
Visitors to the mansion have reported seeing shadow figures, hearing unexplained voices, witnessing locked doors opening by themselves, seeing objects go flying across a room, and having their equipment tampered with. What could be causing such phenomena still remains much of a mystery, but we're hoping that tonight will provide us with some insight on what is really going on inside this historic home.
John, I know you told us about this place being haunted, and that front door behind you, you said you've had some experiences.
We have. We hold, well, we do an event here, Dinner with a Ghost. We do it a couple times a year. And that particular night, it was late into the evening, 1:45, 2 a.m., with 20 people here for Dinner with a Ghost. And our host had asked the spirit, who we think was in the room at the time, if you want us to leave, give us a sign. And he asked it 3 or 4 times, and all of a sudden, you heard the door creak open and then hit the wall there. I turned and noticed the door wide open. So I went to the door and resecured the top lock, which is a throw lock. So first of all, it has a big throw on it, right here. So we shut the door at night when we do Dinner with a Ghost so people don't come in and out. The door is secured. That night at dinner, the first time, you heard from the dinner table, you heard that. And that's when I turned around, and along with 20 other people, I came out, shut the door, and locked it, thinking that, well, maybe I didn't lock it. And sure enough, the question was asked again, and a few minutes later, so obviously the evening was coming to an end. It was a great way to do it, and that was the end of the event for the night. When we were first introduced to the building, this octagon building, by the owners, they brought me in, and I said to Gene and Donna, let's sit down in the dining area. Let's try to get a hold of anybody in the building. And we sat, we all started asking questions, even Donna. Donna loves this. And sure enough, we were approached probably 10, 15 minutes into it by a little girl. Really? Yeah, and throughout talking to her, and we had the RIM pod there, so we knew something was there. And she talked to us for probably an hour, hour and a half about certain things. She let us know that she had died in this building. The other thing that happened that night, Justin, one of the investigators, was here, and he brought a bunch of people in, and they went to the basement. And he brought a couple skeptics with him. And they got down in the basement, and sure enough, 10, 15 minutes into it, one of the skeptics was touched, and he freaked out, and of course came out of the building. So he realized he was alone in a corner, and somebody was grabbing him on the back shoulder, and he turned around. Of course, there's nobody there, and he came running out of the building. So I maybe think he's not a skeptic anymore, and I don't think he'll be back anytime soon. So, but there's been other things. We've had a little girl up in her bedroom. Child's bedroom, this way. I was in there, Emmy was in there, and John was in there. Emmy was a real major skeptic. John was using the dowsing rods in here, and Emmy did not believe anything to do with that. You know, he's holding them and asking questions, and the rods are moving. She's thinking, well, he's got to be moving it with his hands. And I looked at John, I said, John, give Emmy the dowsing rods. Emmy came in, sat down in this room. John sat here, Emmy sat there, and she placed the dowel on there. And I said, Emmy, why don't you ask the questions? John handed her the dowsing rods. And sure enough, as she asked questions, the rods moved in her hands, and she wasn't doing it. I could tell she was a little bit freaked out. And all of a sudden, reality struck, and she knew she was actually talking to somebody. And that went on for about a half hour. She liked the doll. Of course, we had the ovulus in here and the REM pod, so we knew somebody was in here besides John, myself, and Emmy. So it was pretty cool to see that. And sure enough, with a trigger object like a period doll like that, she liked it. As John wasn't getting all the information out of her, and the second another young girl came in and sat down and started talking to her, she got some reaction and some stories out of her. So they were in this room. Justin was near the door, and he was, just trying to talk to spirits. And he was getting no results, and he started pushing it. And all of a sudden, Justin was on the back end of this door, and the door was basically kicked in his face. And he was a little bit injured that night, so yes. And I'm sure Justin would tell you the better story, but I think my kick was good. So
I think the kick was pretty good.
I think it was great.
Yeah. What do you think we're gonna capture good evidence tonight?
Well, as you know, we walked in, and India thought she heard a little girl giggling, which to me is just great. I think you're gonna, there's never a guarantee. You know that as well as I do, as long as you've been around. I think you're going to get some things tonight. The house is silent. It's, very limited people. It's 2 of you. And I think it's going to be a great night for you. And the first night that this magnificent mansion, this 1874 mansion, is being filmed the way you're filming and presenting it to the people. So we hope people come and enjoy 585 West Main Street, which is the Octagon Mansion.
Nighttime has fallen, and so begins our investigation at the Octagon Mansion. We just finished setting up the REM pod in the dining room, in which John said he and 20 other people have witnessed paranormal activity. It hasn't even been 5 minutes, and things begin to happen.
Where's your mask at?
Hey. Oh, what's going on?
The REM pod is going off.
Oh, that's the first time I've seen it go off. Apart from that the exit.
What? The batteries are brand new?
No, the REM pod.
REM pod?
Yes.
If you're there, can you do that again? Can you touch it? That's my camera. Which you're going to have to fix because I can't get out of night mode right now. Somebody here with us. I see you. I see you. That's awesome. Can you step away again then? Just so I know that it's you. Thank you. Thank you. Can you step towards it one more time? Just so I know that you're there. in 5 minutes. Can you step towards it for me? Can you make it light up again? And there's no power up here right now? No electricity? Okay. Thank you, I see you. Can you make it go a different color other than green? There's some other colors on there. Can you change it to a different color? Do you know how to? Just move around it, different direction.
John, we've only been here for a few moments. Is this the type of stuff that you had when you had the guests here?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll look over here with you. Can you make it light up on
Okay,
this
so the
side?
door was going off at the same time.
Okay, to the door was going off at the same time? Are you still there? Can you light that up? We just want to talk to you real quick. You'll let us know that you're here. Can you turn on one time real quick to let us know that yes, you are here?
It could be like just residual energy moving through, or it could just be that it takes up a lot of energy to do that. And I don't know. I really don't know. It could not be paranormal, but I mean, you have to get pretty close. Like you have to get like almost touching it to make it go off. And there's no power in here right now. So I'm just having a hard time coming up with what could set that off.
Yeah, me too.
All right, well, thank you for that. If you want us back in here, just tap that and we'll come back in, okay? That doll really gave me a heart step. I just looked at it and I was like, oh, I forgot it was there. Maybe bring the doll over there? I've heard that there is a little girl in this house. And if there is any other children, I brought this doll here. You can absolutely play with her. Just, you know, she's yours now, so you can play with her, okay?
It sure seems to like you, you know?
Well, usually when I go to locations that have child spirits, or I should say so-called child spirits, what people believe are child spirits, they usually do take a liking to me. And I had an empath medium lady once tell me that at a location I was at that she saw this there. Do you want me to come in there? Step away if you do.
Go in there.
But she told me that she saw this child's mother like come through, and she was saying thank you to me for like looking after the child while I was there. And I don't know like if it's because like, you know, I've been a nanny and stuff. Do you want me to stay in with you? Can you make it light up? Do you want the men to leave this room? If you do, can you light that up? Okay, I'm gonna get up then.
After some interaction with the REM pod, I decided to put my camera down and step out of the room with John and India. It seemed as though the activity was gone, and whatever it was simply done communicating with us. But then again, it wasn't.
No, I think it's a little trust.
Yeah,
When we leave the room,
it goes off.
it goes off, so I think we gotta give it a few minutes.
It's really weird because like now nothing, and like I don't know what we contaminated. Like, we're not here to hurt you. We're just here to talk to you. We just want to know that you're here. Oh, there you go. You're back again.
Everybody's counted for. Nia's right here. John is right here.
Here.
I think it's a she. Want to come in the room? Okay.
Are you a she?
You notice when I say when I'm going to come in the room, it lights up. When I walk towards the door, it lighted up.
If you're a girl, can you light that up for us? Thank you. Can you step away now? Just so I can ask you another question. Thank you.
The entire time we were doing this REM pod session, we were skeptical whether we really were communicating with an entity. However, this next response is out of the ordinary, and anyone with experience with the REM pod will agree. This can be replicated by demonstrating how this device works. Could this be a little girl showing us that she is present and that our doll as a trigger object has attracted her to communicate more with us?
If you're under 10 years old, can you light it up? If you're under 15 years old, can you light it up? There. Are you 12? If you're 12, light it up. That was just a little beep.
Yeah, feels like a yes.
If you're 11, light it up. $13? $14? You don't want to tell me? $15?
That was really weird.
Yeah. John said that, like, the girl told him that she was 12. Yes. But it was so weird how it was just a little brief, like, boop, like, yeah, I'm under 15.
Yeah, like saying yes. It's a response. We decided to conclude our REM pod session and take a short break to develop a game plan to how we wanted to do our investigation. Unfortunately, we were stopped short from smelling something we thought was squatters doing some illegal activity somewhere inside the mansion. This caused us to leave the building through the front and call the mansion security to check out the inside. As we left the front door open, India thought she saw someone or something inside. Hey, what?
It was like,
what just happened? What just happened?
I don't even know what it was, like, just like a white thing. I'm not making this up, I swear to God, I just seen that.
Are you rolling? You rolling?
No, I'm scared. This is scary.
Wait, come with me. You gotta stay with me. You can't walk away from me if there's somebody else.
I don't want to go in. No. Like, it was like a white thin thing. This is a lot happening at once. It's just a lot happening at once. Like, we've only been here, what, an hour?
John's going in there right now with a flashlight.
This is a lot of stuff happening at once.
So you saw something white running from the doorway?
Not in front of the doorway, like is that the fireplace? Someone by the fireplace? Just like a white thin thing is the only way I can describe it. Like,
Well, John's in there right now.
Like a long, thin, like a stick.
Well, John is in there right now, and we can see him as I'm filming you. And it doesn't look like he appears to see anything.
It was like a stick. You know what it was like? It was like that video that you got with looked like the legs, but it wasn't the legs. It was just like one stick. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. RJ's here. The mansion's security, RJ and Emily, arrived and we explained what was going on. We thought someone was possibly under the porch on the side of the building since the basement was locked and we had no access to it. While RJ was checking things out, I decided to go inside the mansion in the front room and call out any potential squatter. Hello?
I then used some provocation in case it was an entity being responsible for what's been happening.
I do hear that you like to throw a few things around the house. Can you throw something?
I will soon realize my choice of words will be used against me.
I'm telling you right now, there's only dead people allowed in this house. So if there's a living person, you better get out right now.
Hey, baby.
Was that you?
What?
The whistle?
No, it was RJ.
Oh.
RJ, is that you whistling?
Yeah.
Okay. You see anybody, RJ?
No, I did not see nobody. 1 second. Hello? Okay.
What the hell?
What was that?
Where was that?
What was that?
Yeah,
What was that? Something just fell. Oh my god.
Was that you?
No, what was that?
Up here?
RJ, was that you?
No, I was.
No, RJ was at the doorway. I just saw him. What just fell?
I don't know.
Look at the floor.
Is there somebody here?
Look at the floor. Hello?
This? It's a rock. A rock just got thrown. Are you kidding me right now?
It almost hit me over the head.
Oh my
This can't be real.
RJ,
Wait.
you swear to God, you didn't throw that.
We
I swear to God. I saw you on the phone.
Yeah.
Oh my
Wait, hang
god.
on. What we need to do is go back and look at the earlier shots and make sure that this see if this was sitting.
There's no rock that was there. I found B-roll in that earlier.
Is there somebody here outside? No, you would have seen him.
Yeah, I just come in. Like, they would have had to throw it by
He
my
was
head.
on the phone, and I saw his hands. His hands were forward. He had his phone.
Are they all right?
Is this a show?
No. Me and John were walking through this doorway, and it freaking flew right up here and hit right above his head. Where are you
What is going on? This is so weird.
Because where were you?
I was right here, man. Look,
I'm ready to grab
Yeah,
the
but
doorman.
hold on.
I was right here. You were walking through this doorway
Okay,
right
but
here.
the rock was right here. So how did that happen?
Me and John were right here. We heard it right here.
How did it get up? So it must have flown to here?
And I was like
If
that.
it falls.
He was like that. Look at RJ. He was like that on the phone, just exactly like
And I
that.
turned around because I heard it. And then I got off the phone.
Okay, but how would it would not fall. Like it would fall straight down. It wouldn't fall diagonal, avoid the fireplace.
I swear to you. I swear. It was right above our head.
There's so stuff going on right now. I don't even know.
Okay, first off, let's go back. First off, we thought we smelled something going on funky here, right? So we had to step outside. We step outside, we call RJ and stuff. He starts showing up and goes over there and goes and checks it out. We're standing out there in the front, and you see something white go by the door, right? Some white little stick
Like a
looking
white
thing.
stick.
Next, we come in here to grab the cameras and look in there, and John's looking there to make sure that
Yeah,
there's
but even
nobody in
before
here.
that.
Yes, but before that, then we started walking underneath the doorway, then the rock hits there, or whatever it hit, and hit the ground. It sounded like it hit right above us because we were walking through the doorway. Here.
So
John was right here.
And also,
I'll get
it's
ready.
really weird music.
I'm getting ready to grab this handle.
This is
Right
John.
off. I'll go back on the phone.
Yeah, go back. Okay, go right where you were at. Go back where you were at. Look, I'm showing you, India. Watch this, okay? Your IRS is killing your light.
Oh, sorry.
No, not you.
Right, so let me just be clear that I was right here putting this REM pod down. I have that on video.
You were putting the REM pod down.
Yeah.
John was right here in this doorway, right where he's standing at. Right where he's standing at.
Reaching for here.
I stepped right here, walking in the room, and then I saw we hear that bang. I looked back at RJ, then I looked forward, and boom, that thing happened.
And the thing about it, I ducked.
Yeah, he ducked us. We thought we got filmed at us. We didn't know what it was. We thought somebody fell back there or something.
Yeah, but it was.
It was thrown with force.
Where would the rock come from? Think about it.
We have to go back and look to see if it was here or if it was here, like in the.
Shh. You heard that, right?
Yeah, I heard that.
What was that?
There's someone back here.
Is there someone?
Shh. Hang on. Shh. Hello?
In case you didn't hear what just happened, John and myself thought we heard someone down the hall talking. RJ, as you can tell, is not present as he met with Emily outside, and India is the only person behind us. At this point, we really thought someone was for sure inside the building, as neither of us have experienced before what just happened. Listen closely and you can hear what sounds like a woman saying, "Hide her." Could this be the mother of the little girl who played with a REM pod earlier, and by the rock being thrown was a sign of her wanting us to get out?
Who are you? If you're not supposed to be in here, you need to get out right now.
She said what?
Huh?
When John, he said that, I said what? He heard him say what?
Well, if.
Easy. I'm gonna go around the corner.
If you're in here, you're not supposed to be in here. Get out. We're gonna call the police.
I don't know what to think right now.
You leave right now. We will not call the police. Come out. John,
Right here.
don't move. Are you on the stairs? I'm coming around the corner. You're gonna come down the stairs. We will not call the police. I'm 100% serious right now. Come down, nothing's gonna happen. Come down right now. I'm not joking. We have a weapon. There's nothing on the stairs. Calm down. Make a noise.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave some.
Okay. RJ, you're right behind me. Okay. We're coming up the stairs. You better not move.
I don't know.
Make sure India is recording. We're coming up the stairs. Hands against the wall.
Connor said, make sure you're recording. Where do you like go?
She's on the phone.
Dude, John, if there's no one in this house is really crazy. Dude, I got goosebumps, bro.
Yeah, so do I.
Holy cow.
Wait, is this door wide open? Should we shut the door?
Yeah, go ahead and shut it.
Okay. I don't want to be back here in case it's a real person.
Yeah,
Should I lock it?
yeah.
Now I locked it. Oh my god.
Just RJ. Whew.
Yeah, RJ.
Who's here? Anybody in this
It's
room?
hard for me to believe that this is not a real person. Like, it just... That's why I'm freaked out.
The floors,
Why is the blinds like that?
floors creak too much. You'd hear somebody.
I'm trying to remember
You know, just like you hear us.
me and him was in there.
Should we bring a spirit box up here?
Oh my god, there's no one here.
Yeah.
Guys, there's nobody up here.
I walked completely around the premises. As soon as I got there, didn't see nothing.
Yeah.
Were you filming when you had bought?
I didn't doubt I didn't cut that. He heard it. It was down the hallway. I heard talking down the
Was it
hallway.
a man?
We both heard talking. It was a woman.
Right?
Yeah, it was a woman.
Do you think, I just wonder, like, do you think that they like the females being in here? Because you said you had a lot of activity with the girl.
Watch
Yeah,
it. Okay. It's me. Go to the far room. Have emails somebody right here. Yep. Let them go. Far room. Right?
Yeah. Far room.
You felt that way.
Yeah, bro. Oh my god. We both got, like, you, I kid you not, RJ? John? Was that you?
No. That's
RJ?
No.
Here.
This is going to be hard to believe for most, as something like this can easily be manipulated. But pay close attention to the position of John and RJ's hands. Emily and India are in the other room and appear to assume the noise was one of us. The 5 of us are the only ones in the building, as we later verify from checking all the locks on the doors. Who or what was this? Yeah, bro. Oh my god. We both got, like, you, I kid you not, RJ? John? Was that you?
No. That's
RJ?
No.
here. Where's your light?
Hang on. I got a light and I got an idea because me and Emily were just up here earlier checking it out when y'all was recording out front. And she was playing with a thing right here.
What was it like?
It was there. It looked like this. Whoa, that's moved. It was laid right here. Because she pushed it and the red button lit up.
Oh, man.
Yeah, earlier this morning.
She was playing with that?
Yeah, Emily was, we walked in this room when you was out front recording today.
Yeah.
And we went in this room, we was coming out, and it was laid right here just like that. And she pushed it and a red light flashed just like it just did. Yeah.
All right, what fell on the stairs?
And then it was just right here. I ain't moved it, she did.
Would you recognize it?
Guys? What?
I seen the sheetrock piece just like that.
A sheetrock?
Oh, I see something shining. What's shining? What's that thing shining right to your right?
I know, I see. A metal thing? A what? A metal thing? What the is this?
What is it?
I don't know what this is, man. I've never seen this shit before. Something goes on I don't even know what this is. It's not.
I mean, to be fair, like, stuff could be falling because it is like an old house, you know?
Do you think this fell from the ceiling?
That was right here earlier. That was right here because I remember I messed with it.
It was right here?
It was right here.
No way. No way.
Me and you were up here earlier.
No. We were over here and we heard that thing go down the stairs. We were right over here where RJ's at.
Look, it was literally right here when me and RJ were up here earlier because when I was
Again, we have tape of like earlier on. Like, this is backing up the claims that, like, you know, you said, what was it, a Civil War coin or something moved, or something moved before?
A button was thrown
A button, right.
at the dinner table.
This is really
How is this possible? This is twice.
I've never been in a place like this. Like, I've never had so much stuff happen. Ever.
Well, I think last time we was here, it was like that.
John, you swear to God, you did not touch that. I know you were right. I know it was
right next to you.
How? Man, how?
You see me jump?
Yeah, I jumped.
There's someone downstairs. Can you throw something again? Can you make a noise? Can you copy me?
Baffled by these unexplainable events, we later concluded our investigation at the Octagon Mansion. Whether you're a believer or a skeptic, being in our shoes that night, you wouldn't understand our fear. We were lucky enough to experience this rare occurrence, as poltergeist activity is hard to come by. We ended up finding only one source for the rock that got thrown could have came from: a caved-in hole in the ceiling in another room down the hall where similar rocks were found in debris. We leave this mansion knowing the stories were true, and we got more than we anticipated it was going to throw at us. Welcome to Paranormal Encounters.
Hello everyone, and that was really interesting, and Irene Takura mentioned it up further up there, that at one point the spirit were just replying to the lady, and I'm if you've been on a paranormal investigation or you're part of a team, excuse me, you might have encountered that spirits just replying to the males or just the females, things like that, or some even getting angered by male or female presence. We've encountered that. Nottingley Hall.
Yeah,
Nottingley Hall, yeah, where the town leaders and things like that used to congregate in one room for a meeting, mostly male, and they did seem to get stirred up more by female presence, which I always find that quite interesting. So yeah, if you've come across that, let us know. And we'd just like to say hello to Leslie Hudson, Team Spirit Paranormal. Hello. Nigel Porter, Mandy Bell as well. Hello, Mandy Bell. And Tiffany Barry popped in to say hello. She's from Last Light Paranormal, a good friend of ours, and we look forward to her popping on the show again at some point for an update. She got a lot of things going off, some really exciting things, that kind of thing. I'll leave to Tiffany to let you know. And it's all good. It's all good. So thanks for watching these streams. We'll be doing it more often again. And we have got some new material, haven't we? In the new material, all these videos, we find them quite interesting. And if you've got any that you'd like to share, let us know, and we'll stream them away. We've got some more coming up with people that we've met and talked to, and there's some real interesting stuff to come. So look forward to that, guys. If you like to let us, if you want to tell us about anything else, just put them in comments, and we always check back later on. And I hope you have a great weekend, and we might be back on tomorrow.
Yes.
Yep. So we'll be back on tomorrow. So that's bye from Phil, bye from me.